All right, all right. We are live yet again. This is day 6 of the World Athletics Championships in Eugene, Oregon, United States 2022. Notice that the World Championships are actually the World Athletics Championships if you get technical about it. So, yeah, I guess when we search, we might say World Championships Track and Field, but it's really World Athletics. I think that's probably why they renamed themselves World Athletics instead of IAAF. It just makes it easier to search. But anyway, as you all trickle in either in the live or the post recording, today has been pretty good. Today's been pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get started. I started a little early like I've been doing every night, except for the first two. And once again, I'm your host, Nick, and you are watching Head and Shoulders ATR, where we cover athletes, performances, and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. As always, be blessed, stay rich, we're going to be fine, and we're going to be working to be the #1 track and field channel, if at all possible, because why not? And really trying to be up there in multiple sports, so just not track and field. Not only track and field, but right now we're focusing on that. So, yeah, today has been really exciting. Remember I told y'all it's a lot of fights that break out when it comes to the 800 and steeplechase. If y'all can actually search them, like steeplechasers kind of throw fists afterwards. Actually, the distance races, they kind of will go back and forth. Haile Gebrselassie, I think it was 20, maybe he was 19, but whatever it was the youth championships. It was either U23 or whatever they used as a term of youth or junior. They keep switching it up. I think they finally stabilized on U20 and U18. And then I guess U23 is so inconsistent, but I don't think they use youth and junior anymore. But yeah, at that, I'm going to call it U20 championships, he was clipping somebody's toes or the back of their heels too much. And yeah, in that 10K, he kept going to the back. It was a Kenyan guy in front of him, and then he clipped him. The guy's shoe fell off on the last lap. Right before the last lap, his shoe fell off. He had to sprint home. He was still clipping on the back of his foot now. Like, he's over there clipping on the back of his foot. And then, yeah, after he finishes, he gets out kicked. Just imagine trying to sprint full speed on a 400-meter track. It's probably going to rip the bottom of your feet a little bit. And so he looks at him, and then he finished across the finish line just in front of the Kenyan guy. Just in front of him. He punched him in the back of the head. And then when Haile Gebrselassie, not in the back of the head, back of the back, I think. And then when Haile Gebrselassie tried to handshake him, he was like, yeah, no. He put his shoe right there. He was like, don't talk to me. But yeah, this stuff goes down in distance. And today, there wasn't really a literal fight. But what winded up happening in that 800, man, it was like boxing matches. And it kind of happened in the 3K steeplechase. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over these qualification rounds a little bit. We only had, 2 finals today, which was the discus and the 3K steeple. So just like every night, we go over the qualification. Let me go over this summary real quick, just to go over who qualified. We got Haruka, and if you're just joining us, don't forget to smash the like button and share this. And if you're joining after the recording just to see the recap, then I want you to comment in the comment section below. It helps the algorithm, and then share it with other people. A lot of you guys do it in WhatsApp. Without further ado, this is the javelin. Both of the sections combined, so Group A and Group B. We got Haruka Kitaguchi for Japan that made it. Xiang Liu made it. Lithuania's Leveta Jaswanate, Kara Winger, there we go. It's either Kara or Kara for the USA. Kelsey Lee Barber for Australia. Nicola for the Czech Republic. Elizabeth Gleedle for Canada. India's Anu Rani and everything. So we got Anika Fooch. Fooch. I'm pretty sure that is pronounced a certain way that would demonetize this video, so I'm not going to say it. From Germany. Lena Moose from Latvia. Sei Takamoto for Japan. Then we got Mackenzie Little for Australia. Those are your javelin qualifiers. I would like to say go over some details, but quite frankly, I didn't get to check in. Kumo, hey, shout out to you. Are you still in South Africa right now? He said, "Yo, I just joined. Were you just talking that one junior race from the '90s was highly? Yeah, yep. You can still search it on YouTube right now. Actually, it's probably uploaded somewhere. But yeah, he got bashed up in the back and the guy his shoe comes off. I mean, that is extremely annoying. Getting clipped in the back of the foot. It's like you got all this room on the track, you got room behind me, and you choose to run so close that you're hitting my foot. That's friction. That means you're slightly slowing me down. And usually taller people will do that, or they get clipped just because you're used to people around your height or whatever, and then you get this extremely tall person. Like they will do that, or they will get clipped themselves. It's either one or the other. But when you get somebody shorter, that's extremely annoying. And Ethiopia is very, very good at doing it. See that men's marathon, the women's marathon? They will just stay behind somebody else, the Kenyans, because the Kenyans dominate. So they're not as much of a leader there. When they're not as leaders, they just go behind somebody. Or if they don't want to put in the work, the coach tells them, get on their heels and literally clip them. So yeah, we got the 5,000. We got, let me do this first. We got Caster Semenya that tried the 5,000 yet again. This time actually made the championships. Unlike the last for Tokyo, Semenya did not make the qualifying mark, so was not in Tokyo, but made the qualifying mark this time for the World Championships. But unfortunately for Semenya, did not really feature at all. Nah, didn't. It's at 5 a.m. I can hear birds chirping. Dang. It's 5 a.m. All right. But yeah, so we got Gudov Segay, Sayum for Ethiopia, Chebet, Kimboy, Schweizer. That's almost a swear word if it was pronounced slightly differently for the USA, and Infeld for USA. Now, Rurika Hironaka for Japan was basically leading this entire race and didn't even get to qualify. Man, talk about putting in all that work and not making it through to the next round. Just barely missing it because of the second section. But yeah, I think I agree with Tim Hutchins, where they just need to just go, instead of saying time qualifiers, because this gives a massive advantage to the second field in the 5,000. Just do it where it's like the top 8 in each one. Instead of taking like 15 or whatever, take 16, top 8 in each heat, and then there you go. Me, I would say there's some sort of time qualifier cutoff / whoever gets in front of it. So you could have more or less. It's like a minimum of 16, but whoever would get past that time, that's what I would do. If it was 15 minutes coming in, I'd say just 15:10 or whatever. Whoever's under that. That might make it more of a race or something. Who knows? But there you go. Another thing, where is it? Klosterhoffen. She got like a 14:20 something. And yeah, I don't know what was up with her. She just really faded. I don't know. The heat, people were saying the heat here, and I'm like, Tokyo was really hot, but maybe it wasn't hot during the 5K. But yeah. Then we got the second one, world record holder Letesenbet Gide for Ethiopia, Kip Kurui for Kazakhstan, I think former Kenyan probably. Then we got Sifan Hassan, former Ethiopia, representing the Netherlands. Obviously, she was the champion in the 10K and 1500, and then got a silver, maybe bronze in the 5,000 in 2019. Never been done before to get that a man or woman got a 10K 1500 double. Much less entered in all three and got a medal in all three. Gosh dang. So We got Grovedal from Norway. Elise Cranny for the United States. So looking good for the U.S. to qualify. 3 women in there, so all 3. Just for a hometown, home crowd type of thing, even if they're not about to medal at all. Then we got Kite for Kenya. Elish McColgan. Her mom, not coincidentally, Elizabeth, if I'm not mistaken, or Liz McColgan, she was an Olympic champion in this very same event. No, or the 10K actually, I believe. Could have been the 5K. I think I just watched it last month, or I was listening to it while I was working out. Not last month, in May. But yeah, she was leading the race. She was dominating the race. People were questioning whether she was fit, and then her mom winded up winning. So definitely champions running the family. We'll see what Elish McColgan does either this year or going in the future. I'm not really expecting too much from her now, but she is one of the tallest in the field. We'll see. Jessica Judd for Great Britain, and then we got Nozomi Tanaka for Japan. So Tanaka actually knocked out her own teammate. When you look at the times, that's why the other Japanese athlete didn't make it. They said, dang, the Ethiopians on fire this champ, she is Wayne said. Yep, they are. They crushing the Kenyans. They crushing everybody else. Yeah, this is crazy. I think their difference in focus, smash the like buttons for the people that are here. I think the difference in focus in their concentration about, you know what, we were focusing on the 5 and the 10K, but then they got exposed. Ethiopia got exposed when Kenenisa Bekele got injured. He never was back to his old self. 2011 was when Mo Farah won, or maybe that was the last time Kenenisa Bekele won. But Bekele was so dominant, he could slow down races, look around, make sure his teammates, because that's the Ethiopian strategy a lot of times, and sometimes the Kenya strategy. Mainly it's Ethiopia, and then Kenya started to adopt it more recently, especially in the marathon. It's like, okay, I'm going to hold back a little bit for myself. And even though you might beat me because we're trying to get a medal, at the end of the day, we're trying to get this medal count up for our country, and who knows what else that comes with that sponsorship money and however that goes. So that's what that was looking like. And Ethiopia was good for doing it. Haile Gebrselassie was a lot able to do that. He was more of an individual guy. Then Kenenisa Bekele was just orchestrating races. Like, okay, you take the lead, you do this. Literally talking to them in the middle of the race, and then he got injured, and then they got exposed. Oh my goodness, this little troll. He said, I'm going to sleep now. I passed out 2 times in 5 minutes. Keep well. I'll see you next video. All right, Kumo. I'll see you the next time. Let me take this troll out. Usually that comes in at 200 people. Daryl Richardson said, if the runners leave it slow in the finals, that plays into the hands of Dawit Sayum, former 1500 meter runner with a kick. I think that plays into the hands of Sergey as well, and Safan Hassan. Actually, if you really think of it, but Safan is probably not as 1500 meter sharp, but Safan got the fastest 800 in the field, the fastest 1500 in the field. So I think that's going to play more into her hands, especially she probably would like it slow. So that, because she's not as fit right now, I think that will play into her hands more, and Sergey. But there's no telling, because Kenenisa Bekele, after he lost, and then I'll move on to the next one. After he lost to Hisham El Garouj in Athens, he adjusted his strategy. Was that Beijing or Athens? No, it was Athens. He adjusted his strategy after he lost so that he could face Lagat, because I think Lagat even beat him because he doubled. Wasn't it the 1500 and 5000? So he said, all right, I'm coming back in 2009, and at the World Championships, they let it go slow. He let it go slow, but this is what he did. He winded up surging, and I mentioned this the other day. He winded up surging every lap, but it was every other 200. And I remember noticing something like that, because I remember when I was in high school, I'm looking at this, and I'm watching this, and I'm timing it. and I'm getting splits every 200. Because I'm just looking at these and I'm like, okay, his 200s look like they're, but then his every 400 was getting slightly faster after a point. So it's like, okay, if you were doing 63 sixes, then it goes down 63 4. But then one of those 200s, he surged up and did a 31. And then he went back down. It was like a 32, right? And then he did a 62.9. And then he surged up at a 30.5. And then he evened it out with the other one, still about 32. And then he went 30 low, 29 low. But each one of them was just a half a second faster. But that 200 on the back straightaway, from the finish line to the back straightaway, that's where he surged. And he burned the mess out of the kick of Legat. And that's why people were like, yeah, if he was a real 1,500 meter athlete, and he didn't do the 1,500 that year, he would have been able to kick. I still remember them announcing that. And I'm like, nah. You don't understand. When you're surging, he surged the kick out of Legat. Legat needed a steady pace. He barely, I mean, he broke 13 minutes by, 1 second when he ran that 50.1 on Bekele at the end of a 5K and outkicked him earlier that year. So Bekele went back to his camp and was like, okay, we're not going to allow him to just sit on me. I'm going to surge. And that's a good way to do it. They said, she is Wayne, Kennedy, Bekele, and Dababa kicked our Kenyan butts so many times. I was so young at the time. Yeah. Man, they was just trouncing every nation. Sayum always beat Segay in the 1,500. And I think the one that got whooped the most was Paula Radcliffe, because she was salty as a mother. Paula Radcliffe was the whipping boy, or the whipping girl here in this case. Now that I say that out loud and think about it, that is clearly a slave term or a colonization term too. But anyway, she was literally the whipping girl right there, and was getting beat on because all the other athletes would just let her take the lead, get behind her, running her 72s and 73s, and her doing her head bob and stuff. And they're just like, okay, cool. They gonna run your 73, 74, occasional 72, and we're just gonna let you coast, and then we're gonna outkick you. Like, they was like, we don't have to worry about it because she's always going to take the lead. Sayum always beats Segay in the 1,500. That's funny. I'm surprised Mashesha got last, or second to last, that other race. Trevor Woodley says Safan hasn't been the same since Salazar got busted. No, that's incorrect, because Salazar... And Salazar wasn't busted. Let me do a correction here. Salazar got taken down because of what's the name, crying and doing the female. I just gotta say it. Here's the allegedly thing. This is just from what I'm viewing this as. Okay, if you're training with somebody, you don't have to do what they're telling you. Move to a different camp, just like Melaine Walker did. She didn't like for Coach Francis, she left. Even though her times are better, she came back to him. He said one thing, she was like, oh no, you said this? You did. She left. Why did she go to Salazar and was like, he was telling me to do this and that, and he was abusing me, basically, doing that type of thing. It's like, leave. Just leave. Leave, go to a different camp. And he didn't get busted because he never broke a drug rule. That's the thing. You don't realize that a lot of these athletes, they do these, I think it's called micro doping. That makes it sound worse than what it is. Okay, think of people on Wall Street. They get away with this stuff because they're white, quite frankly. But the people on Wall Street take little tiny hits of cocaine, and that's illegal, actually. But imagine if it was legal that you have a small hit of a cocaine, but you can't go over a certain limit. How do you know that all the athletes that we look at that train are not taking micro doses of testosterone things, not taking this? Because it's like you have a level that you have to stay under. So therefore, as long as you stay under that level, you don't get banned, you don't get busted. And he never went over the level. So they their official ruling was he violated the spirit of the sport. That is so vague. That's how they use on black people all the time. They say, you did this based on this vague term. So, yeah, that's with him. And by the way, he was banned in 2019. and she's been doing very well with that new camp. So I don't think it's that she did bad, because I mean, look at the Olympics of what she did. So I think it's just this year she's not doing as well. Okay, let me see. I think I covered everybody here. Let's go to the next one. He said, fair enough. Safan won 4 golds and a bronze after Salazar. Yeah, exactly. 4 gold medals and a bronze after. What did I just cover? I went up to the javelin. Oh, yeah, 800, 400 hurdles, semis, discus final. All right, all right, all right. Man, these were some boxing matches here. We got a couple of DQs. Max Bergen decided not to show up. He had a calf injury. Smash the like button, y'all. Didn't know that. Microdosing regimens, etc. Yeah. It's a lot of people that do that. Imagine, it's a lot of people that do it, and I don't know them personally. It's just that when you get these people, it happens in Jamaica. It happens in Kenya. The 2 nations that they said a lot of things were happening just because the regulations weren't there is in Jamaica. Usain Bolt complained because he lost a sponsor, and then they fired the person, or he lost a potential sponsor. So, I mean, it's politics. You got your best athlete that you've ever seen, probably bringing in a lot of money for the Jamaican administration, and then one of your administrators breaks the mold and say, hey, look, there's a lot of people out here basically violating these things off season because we don't really check them. And the same thing, it was Jamaica and Kenya were the 2 nations that had the most lax testing regimens. So I'm talking about some other stuff I know. Let me get off of that subject here, because me, for one, I personally don't care as much. I want to see good performances. If I'm running a league or something, I'm gonna have to care. But as a spectator, I'm just like, yeah, whatever, just run fast, be entertaining. But I don't know who Houlihan's coach was, to be honest, offhand. We got Career that made it, Mujahid for Morocco. Then we got Arriba, or De Arriba, for España, or De Arriba, because I think they pronounce their double R's differently, like a TH. I remember the Spaniards pronounce theirs different. Depends on where they're from, actually. But this is kind of concerning because Germa, the 17-year-old Ethiopian, he kind of just, I think he didn't have a move left. He didn't even lean. It was kind of weird. It's clear he was 17. I'm like, dude, lean at the line, pick it up right here. It's like he didn't move. He didn't even look like he was struggling. It just was like he stayed one speed. His body was technically sound, and he could have made it through. And that was kind of weird. But Ethiopia, like I said, they changed over from the 5K only and just was like, yeah, let me go over to these other events. So they're taking some sacrifices and some things, but they're adjusting pretty well, a little bit better than Kenya's doing. Peter Bold made it through. Langford from Great Britain, Garcia from España, then Robert from France, and those your qualifiers. Brazier didn't make it. He kind of had that qualification point at some point, but he's been injured. I don't know. I understand why he showed up, but because I had the same injury he's got, I know how serious that is. I'm like, man, I'm not even gonna tell y'all what I did in a 400 while I'm trying to retrain for an 800 and stuff. I'm like, okay, I had to take a whole month off. He's got to just do nothing on that recalcitrant bursitis that he has. He just got to do nothing on that. He could train through it, but he's at an elite level. So I think it's better he just stop. And then we got Moad Zahafi from Morocco, Tall from France, Wanyonyi from Kenya. So Hoppel not making it. You know what? I think Hoppel did make it. I think he protested. This is the heat where the Canadian winded up pushing him. He pushed. I don't know if he tripped, but he pushed Hoppel. Hoppel went somewhere, and then Hoppel came back in, readjusted, and then went boom, and then ran back into McBride, and McBride went flying to the ground. They said 800 meter was a boxing match. Yeah. Oh, the Schumacher group. Yeah, there you go. They said North Africans are really coming. Whoo! No 800 in the no USA in 800. They said shaking my head, but yeah, this was very interesting. So McBride did his thing there. It kind of came back to bite him in the rear end, and I'm gonna look on the semifinal list because it may not have a queue near Hoppel, but I think he did make it through. Sejati, Van Diepen, and Ioni made it through. The funny thing is that the top 800 meter athletes, except for 2, did not make it through these rounds. I was just like, okay, you got ranked number 1 in the world, didn't make it through. Obviously, defending champion, he was already hurt, but he's still a top 800 athlete. You going down the list, and it's like, okay, Olympic champion, didn't make it. What's going on in this 800? Yeah, Hoppel pushed him too when he was coming back. It was like he adjusted himself back there, and then that's when he tripped. So it's more like, imagine you, somebody pushes you, and then you're thinking you're going to go in a straight line, so your body's trying to readjust, and then you kind of bounce back. It didn't look like a malicious push. It looked like he pushed Hoppel maliciously, because I'm like, it didn't look like he was tripped or anything. But yeah. They said Brazier goes into surgery after World Championships, Steve Patrick said. Oh, you must have been listening to U.S. broadcast. If that's the case, then yeah, if he said in an interview. So at least he could do that, but I don't know. Because if that's on his Achilles, I just got to say, I looked that up, and that's why I stopped running too. Surgery is real risky, especially near your Achilles, because many things can go wrong. That is the absolute last and the absolute last thing you want to do right there around your Achilles, especially for the bursitis, because what'll happen is you could get an Achilles tear from that. And it's just like, okay, but he's dealt with something last year where he had a boot on. So clearly he's been training through it and thought he recovered and it came back. So I don't know. I still kind of got it a small amount, but now it's manageable and it's virtually going away. Brandon Miller, that was kind of disappointing a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. The USA was just kind of hyped up in this one and then didn't come through. A-Rock, I hope he could perform this time around. I don't know what's going on. They said hope he made it, but did they put McBride back in or? Oh yeah, I'm gonna see that in a second. I'm gonna see that one in a second. So I'm gonna bring up the finals list when I do this. Lopez from Mexico. Good to see a Mexican in there. English or Mark English from Ireland. Then we got Catlin from Italy. Noah Quebec from Kenya. This was the fastest heat right here. Then we got Kramer for Sweden. And then Koech, he just got DQ'd. He finished 4th here, by the way. But he got DQ'd because he pumped in front of Kramer from Sweden. Unnecessary. I don't even know why. I don't know what these people be thinking of. Like, it literally was no room. He literally put his arm through and pushed him out. And then Kramer went on the inside of the rail. He almost tripped. So imagine if he didn't have his footing right. He could have tripped. He could have twisted his ankle or something. I don't know what Koech was thinking. You simply just go and do extra room on the outside. Isn't it more effort to squeeze your body through, turn it to the left while you're trying to go to the right on the curve? You could have just went around them. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, man. Okay. And then we got Mola for Algeria, Kassasi for Kenya, El Ghis for Morocco, Rowden for Great Britain, and then we got the final qualifier before we see who got maybe added in, Bodena for Ethiopia. But yeah, this is some very interesting things. We had a couple national records in here, but they're not marking them there, I don't think. Maybe I'm confusing that with the with that. So let me see. Who are we looking for? Who are the McBride? And then we're looking for Hoppel. Let's see if they made it through. Oh no, they didn't add Hopple because I could have sworn they added him, and I guess they must have took him back. So it looks like McBride, no McBride, no Hopple, no Americans in the 800 at all. And the USA is moderate in the 800, so good enough to make it. Especially as a host nation, we really should have had somebody in here. That is crazy. So looking at this, it says 2 plus the next 2 fastest times. This is going to be a very, very interesting one. Let me see here. What I am more concerned with is career. Because he did a 149 or whatever on that one. And to see if he's in shape. Sure, he did a 145, I guess, sometime during the season. But this is going to be very interesting to see what type of shape he's in. I can't tell you who's going to really make it out of this because it's too tight. This one is too unexpected for me. I would say A-Rob should make it out of here. I would say that A-Rob should make it out of here. But knowing him, he might just screw around and mess up. And if he does make it out, he'll screw around and mess up the final. I'm like, man. Yeah, I saw Hopple advance too. I don't know what happened. So hopefully they adjust these sheets. I don't know. Let me move on to the next event though. Okay. The 400 meter hurdles for the women. We got Dalilah Muhammad went through. I think she even said she's just trying to mentally focus. Right here was more of a test. This was a test to see what she could do. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm glad I finally finished the workout I was doing. I was listening to the 800 as I was doing some off-season 800 training in, I guess, 96-degree weather that feels like 107. That's what it was. I don't know why it was that hot this late in the evening, but it was. But as I got to see this, Dalilah Muhammad went out hard. She eased up on the 2 hurdles on the turn, and on the, the 7th hurdle coming off of the turn, she went and was like, all right. She visibly just started going faster. She just went for a huge turnover. And I was like, I think this is her testing herself. This is what she needs to do. She needs to test her fitness. She needs to see where she's at. And then that's when she looked up to see what time she ran. And she's like, okay, I'm just going to go out there and do it. But she did ease up on that curve. So she eased up on the curve. You could tell her fitness isn't there. So she may not be expecting to get that gold. I think personally she's not expecting to get that gold. She's probably going to go for it. But what she's going to try to do is at the very least hold on for that second. Because Femke Bol may be able to knock her out if, depending on how her oh yeah, we got almost 100 people in here. Let's smash the likes. Let's smash the likes. Thank you for reminding us, mind your own. You said, hey, Head and Shoulders, the likes are down. Man, you know what? This is so very interesting. That's why I said I'm going to keep quiet on something. Now that you are saying that, that reminds me. But I'm going to finish this. So Dalilah Muhammad was testing herself. I think she's mentally settled for second. But actually, she might not be mentally settled for second. She knows realistically it's easier for her to get it. But I think she's just going to have to go out there as a champion and try to do it. I mean, look at Vorholm. I think he could have ran that 3rd place. But the problem is that he wants to win. Anything less than winning is just like, hey. So he gave it his all. He tried to hold on. He tried to see where he was, and it just didn't work. So here, Muhammad was trying to see something, and she was like, okay, cool. Rizikova always looking pretty good. Unfortunately, Geneve Russell didn't make it through. Those are really just the highest ones that I could say that I expected that could make it through. Van der Vault for South Africa with the personal best. Congratulations to you. 54.81. They said Dalilah lost weight. I don't know if I could say that, but look, I don't be looking at her like that because she's always like paper skinny. Like when I look at Dalilah Muhammad, she looks like a piece of paper sideways. So that's just how even and flat her body generally is. And other athletes that do the 400 hurdles aren't like that flat. I mean, Femke Bol, it doesn't look that flat. Maybe it's just the way her uniform looks on her, on both of them too. But Femke Bol doesn't look that flat. But Dalilah Muhammad, for whatever reason, maybe it's the hair wigs or weaves that she be wearing sometimes, but it just kind of makes her look flat, like a piece of paper. So I can't really tell. I knew something may have looked different on it, so maybe that's what it was. Because I was trying to see the muscle definition, but I was outside looking at a screen in a sheen of sunlight. So while I was still finishing my workout, Femke Bol, 52.84, looking pretty decent. I mean, the hype train is real. The hype train is real. They trying to do the Femke Bol is the favorite here, kind of, sort of. If you listen to Tim Hutchins talk, it was Femke Bol is here and the challengers from the USA. I'm like, wait a minute. Shouldn't it be Sydney McLaughlin and the challengers, or the challengers are everybody else or something? Because, I mean, the world record holder that just did it this year ran under 52 twice, even with the hurdles placed incorrectly. And I'm just like, and looking very, because she broke the 300 meter world record? I don't know. Maybe. And because of that, but hey, look, you got to hype up your international crowd. Remember, this is international. All of y'all are from different countries too. So yeah. Yeah, I remember she had COVID. But that was last year. You said, nah, not that skinny. Trust me. No, she's paper thin. The way she's looking. I like my women skinny, but she's paper thin. If y'all see some of the women I have been around, or am around, then you would know I like them thin. Not all sizes. Not fat though. Femke Bol, Shamir Little. Congratulations. Shout out to Chi-Town right there, representing us real well right there. Shamir Little. I remember seeing her on that track when I announced her back at the Proviso West Indoor Invite. And I remember when I saw her, she was looking real goofy with them glasses, kind of looking kind of airheady, just kind of goofball and happy and everything. And I think I'm graduated 2 years before her. She went to Limblom in Chicago. And I was like, yeah, she's about to win. I said, I could bet you some money right now. I forgot who it was at the school. I said, I could bet you $100 she's about to win. I didn't look at any of the seed times just yet. I said, before looking at anything, because I'm the announcer, I need to know that. I'm like, I bet she wins, and she's going to obliterate them. Because she went from goofy to extremely serious as soon as the starter said, runners on your mark. And I was like, every time I see an athlete like that in high school, 9 times out of 10, at whatever level they're at in their age group or their division, they always blow everybody else out. And when I saw that, I was like, yeah, she's about to blow. And then ever since then, I've been keeping track, going to Texas A&M and everything. So Shamir Little is I'm happy to see her make it through. She had the struggle here. That's not good. That means she's not really a danger for getting any medal unless Dalilah Muhammad or somebody in front of her blows up. But there are plenty of people that look a little bit better than her. But I'm happy that Shamir Little, 5th fastest in history, is there. Then we got Rochelle Clayton for Jamaica. Personal best, 53.63. Congratulations to her. Britton Wilson, looking pretty tired out, but she made it through. She made it through. The slowest qualifier, but she made it through, which means she's probably in lane 1 with, what's her name? Clayton in lane 8. Then we got Sydney McLaughlin, 52.17. She's like, yeah, I can do this. And she looked pretty comfortable. Body language was comfortable. So not even just the face. I don't pay attention to people's faces too much. I pay attention to their body language. And her body language was just like, yeah, this is not even anything. Everybody here, we got about 80 people. Smash the likes up. Come on, let's get the likes up. It costs you nothing. Gianna Woodruff, which didn't she run in the Jamaican trials as one of the extra athletes? They had a couple Panamanians that competed, and I'm almost certain because somebody asked me about her, and I was like, I think it's some kind of agreement because it's not enough athletes in her home nation, or they just don't have the money to host. So she comes to Jamaica and runs only one round, and I think she just did the 400. But yeah, Gianna Woodruff, 53.69 area record. So congratulations to her for doing that, and they qualified. Salmon for the U.S. For Jamaica didn't make it, unfortunately. Kachuk for Ukraine didn't make it. She was clearly an athlete that had the ability to do it. And then Foloronzo for Italy. I think that's the former Nigerian. She ran on the mixed 4x400 meter relay, by the way. Y'all should see her interview. Y'all should see this woman's interview, because they were like, "Are you? How did it feel to run against the?" I think it's the YouTube channel called Making of Champs that focuses on Nigeria a lot, and they were like, "How did you feel running against the Nigerians on there?" I guess it's like when you come from somewhere, everybody got to ask you, "How do you feel about black people?" Like, they just stuff a mic in front of you and just be like, "You the spokesperson for everybody." So this is how it was. It's like they saw a former Nigerian. That was, "How did it feel to run against your old nation?" And she was like, "Sorry, not sorry, sorry, not sorry," or whatever. It was pretty funny. But national record 54.34. Congratulations to her. They said Bowl got bronze. Head and Shoulders can't keep analyzing without more likes. Man, that's what I would say. But yeah, that's what I would say. But tonight, I'm trying to get out of here. I know I'm doing a lot of talking, but come on, y'all. Thank you, mind your own. You know what? I might have to make you a moderator. You over here putting in some work too. I'm gonna consider that going forward over the next couple of months. But yeah, thank you for that. But yeah, I'm not gonna hold it hostage or whatever. I'm trying to get out. I am worn out for that workout today. It was a good one. Britton Wilson in lane 1, which is not expected. Rizikova in lane 8. Yep, that's where they should be. Then we got Clayton in lane 2, Shamir Little in lane 3. Not the worst lane, not the best lane, but it puts her in contention. She's inside a bowl, which is going to be her real target. Very interesting. So Muhammad's outside of McLaughlin. That gives her a target again. Muhammad has beaten McLaughlin before. She's basically going to have to run blind. Nobody else is really to Muhammad's outside that she's got to worry about. Woodruff, she ain't got to worry about unless she just blows up. That's the only time. And if she blows up, she's not going to probably medal. So she doesn't have to really worry about them in normal circumstances with Woodruff and Rizikova. So we got Bowl and McLaughlin in the preferred lane. And then Muhammad in the second best lane. Then Bowl in the third best lane. That's how they kind of go. How do I call this one? Sydney McLaughlin takes this unless she pulls up, false starts, or gets DQ'd. I can't really see her imploding. I think unless Femke Bol can tap into breaking 52, which I think she can. Unless Femke Bol can tap into to less than 52, then I think what's going to happen here is that Bowl has the biggest chance of getting a silver. And when that happens, the whole media machine is going to go haywire. Because the media machine is even harder on Femke Bol than it is on Sydney McLaughlin when Dalilah Muhammad was the best athlete in the field, getting a world record. And it still wasn't enough for the media to stop hyping up McLaughlin like she was going to beat her. It was like, okay, Muhammad is the underdog here. It's like, isn't that the Olympic champion coming here in 2019? And then she ran a second world record. And it took a whole year, 2 years, for the media to finally acknowledge her. So Femke Bol's getting hyped up. If she even gets a silver, the way they talking is like Femke Bol versus the Americans that might stop her. Imagine she beats Muhammad. So in this case, I think Femke Bol has the highest chance of getting second, but just because of Muhammad's own words, she's not fully fit. She's just trying to test herself out and to mentally stay there. So that's what she's doing. I think she may be able to chase down Femke Bol if she does what she did today. But if Femke Bol breaks 52, call that ship sailing SOL for Muhammad, and she's just going to have to settle for third. I think that's what it's most likely going to be. Shamir Little, do I think she even gets fourth? That's going to be a hard one because Woodruff and then Clayton, they're going to be hungry. Shamir Little on paper should be able to do something, but she was struggling. I'm glad she had that fight though. So I know that she's gonna have a fight left in her. But let's see what happens. I think I peg her at a very questionable fourth place. Very questionable fourth place. I place her at a very questionable third if Muhammad blows up. They said, "Oh Lord, please, I hope Delilah gets silver." Yeah, I know, right? They said I be hating on Bo. My head would explode if she beats Delilah. Muhammad has had COVID twice, I think. Mind your own said. Twice. Dang. Y'all said changing coaches was the best decision McLaughlin made. You know, I find it very weird that when athletes do well, they kind of leave what they've been doing. To me, I don't necessarily get down with that. It'd be like, okay, what happens if Jackie Joyner Kersey or Bob Kersey's group, they produce all these super champions, somebody leave them after they set a world record or they do very well, then they leave. It's like they were already doing well, so when you go to another coach, I don't look at the new coach as, oh, she did extremely whatever. I don't know. I think it was just more like could have been a personality thing, personalization type of thing, just like dang it. I'm forgetting her name from Great Britain in the Katarina Johnson-Thompson. There we go. Katarina Johnson-Thompson. She moved from Jackson, Florida, and then she went right back to Great Britain. I don't know if she's back with her old coach, but she didn't like the coach, he said, he was like, yeah, it fell apart after she got like silver indoor this year, and she didn't feel like everything was personalized to the way she liked it, and she didn't want to be, I guess, part of the team. It left amicably, but she just wanted more personalization. So I think it's off of those. I don't look at it like, oh, this coach is that much better. I'm not going to doubt Kersey at all. That's not what I'm saying. But I can't say that she wasn't already doing numbers and doing very well. I just say that. They said they're all hyping Bowl too much. It hurts my head. Yeah. Nah, Sid did good to go to Kersey. She's a beast now. Rodney to do the same. Yeah. 1, 2, 3 are going to be 52 low. Yep. I agree with y'all. I can still agree with y'all. Now, what is this? The discus throw. I told y'all China coming up, and this woman got a personal best, I think, by 3 meters. She came in this thing with 66, and she just threw on the second discus throw and was like, man. They said McLaughlin said it was the best decision she made. Look, the final word on that, I think I always used to say these things. You know, when you look back in your life and something good happens to you, you know, since we don't live in multiple realities and we can't think of the other thing, we either say this is the best thing I did or I regret this. It's like it's no in between. It's not like, it was just there. Or it'll be the same no matter what. Everybody or most of us think that, and I had psychoanalyzed myself and many other people. I just asked them questions. They didn't know what I was asking. And it's like, no, if I had to redo life, it'll be the same as it is now. Or I would do this thing different. It was not it'll be the same no matter what. So I do respect what she's saying though, but I find it kind of funny because we always go back in that. But Ben Feng for China won. Perkovic for Croatia got second. Valerie Allman, she was so disappointed in this, but she had to settle for third. They said, I don't trust those Chinese athletes are clean, honestly, because they know Steiner is finished at least for the season. Sid was training same camp with Rye and getting silvers just like Rye till she switched to Kersey. Hey, they said, I regret that I cannot enjoy these championships in real time. Man, mind your own. Where were you at earlier? Because you said you just joined me. You should have got one of the NFTs. That was like a lottery ticket. Because I just winded up selling them. I winded up selling the tickets that I had. I had about 12 tickets. Wait a minute. No, I think I had 13 actually. and I had sold one early. Then I had 12 left over, but I was giving away tickets earlier for kind of like a lottery ticket type of thing. But I had to hit a certain threshold. There's no guarantee because some people here bought the NFT and they weren't in a raffle because we didn't sell enough. But yeah, there were the raffle for that, or I was giving away a bunch of money, even $40,000 just to buy the NFTs and everything. So yeah, definitely stay on the channel because we do giveaways. Remember, I'm giving away points for people's predictions on Dina Asher Smith. That's what I'm doing here. So don't forget that. I am giving away points. I'm going to reveal what the point chart is probably at the end either of the summer or maybe the end of the year, about how many points equal what, and then I just will do a raffle or a giveaway or some type of thing. I'm gonna keep it fun here. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do this for every major championship, like the World Championships or something. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to do for every major championships. It just depends. If the NFT isn't successful, then I gotta be honest, I'm not gonna pull all out of my pocket to do that. I bought the tickets in advance, of course, with my money, but I can't just pull all out of my pocket to do things because, once again, if I want to do a track and field league, I gotta make sure things are profitable, test things out. The channel gives me a small testing ground for different things and how I can fund it without using sponsors. If I could do it through donations and all types of things, because I want to make sure people aren't beholden 100% to the shoe companies. So anyway, going to the women's 400. Let's see. Actually, you know what? I'm going to switch over to the final here for the steeplechase and just commentate on this. Now, this was very, very good to me. This is very good to me. And the reason why I'm doing this final before the 400s is because I'm about to fly through those and I'm going to talk about this. So, crowds for Germany, a little bit of surprise that she got last. Wayman, not surprised. Chimotai, which is the Olympic champion right here, got blown out in somewhat of a way, because I mean, going sub 9 is very, very hard. Even with these super shoes, super tracks or whatever, they're still pretty hard. We got Amy Pratt with the national record for Great Britain. Congratulations, 9:15:64. We got a national record for Albania for Luisa Gega, 9:10.04. So congratulations to her in 5th place. And then we got a personal best for Makides Abebe for Ethiopia. Congratulations. 8:56.08. National record for Worku Getachew for Ethiopia as well. 8:54.61 championship record. Congratulations to everybody that just broke those records. 8:53.02. New championship record for Nora Gerudo for Kazakhstan. I guess she couldn't compete last year because of, nationality changes. I'm pretty sure if Tokyo was in 2020 originally, then she wouldn't have had to worry about it, because I think they were timing it to the off year, which would have been this year. But instead, Eugene got pushed back and everything, or last year or whatever. So I don't know. It just happened that way. But man, when this was a boxing match, just like the 800s, I mean, they were pushing through. I gotta say, Yavi, which was she the former Kenyan that went to Bahrain? But yeah, Yavi was over here pushing Gerudo. Gerudo was pushing. She's looking around. Every time somebody tried to challenge her, you saw that she was getting tired in the lead, or she just kind of stopped. And they took over the lead for like 1-2 seconds. Getachew took over the lead. Yavi could only at best get by her for a second. Then she went right back to her. She kept tripping her up. Yavi kept pushing her. Quite literally pushed her like 3 or 4 times. Once by the water jump. Once at the first hurdle after the after the finish line. And then another time on the back straightaway. And they were just going back and forth. So that was very, very crazy. Very, very crazy. They said no flag for Gerudo. Sad. Yeah. You know what? That would be. I didn't notice that because after that happened, I kind of just went straight to the live. I didn't notice if they pulled out the flag, but if that's true, then yeah, that is pretty sad. But yeah, this was very, very interesting. Man, one thing, she was tweaking though. I gotta say, I'm like, she on the ground, she's screaming. I'm like, I know that what was it? Meseret Defar, when she got past the finish line, she'll be screaming for about 10, 15 seconds, saying, "Woo, I got this, I got this." Man, Gerudo was doing that for like 2-3 minutes, just screaming. Like screaming and screaming. I'm like, was this like, hey, I got $70,000. This is worth a lot in my country. Was this the I am a champion? I beat everybody. Everybody tried. Every time they tried to come up, I looked them in the eye and then I sped up on them again. They came up to me. I looked them in the eye and I sped up. It was like a boxing match or something. This was very interesting to watch. For. They said track and field wants more folks to start watching, so they got to spend money to showcase these events. They said definitely look DSD. Well, let me look at this real quick. I'm not sure. You know, people got some strong features. We got the Dominican Republic got some people with some strong features, but hey, people may have strong features. I will look into that. But I'm not sure if this individual is DSD, and I want to say no. I was gonna immediately say no, but then I want to prove it on screen that the case is likely not the case. The only aspect of this, see, you can't really tell DSD. See, other than some other features, DSD athletes are. I'm not even gonna go into those details. Matter of fact, but here I'm just gonna say. I'm not even being diplomatic. I'm not even gonna say, because look, you don't know me because I just be saying all types of stuff. I roast people and I roast them. I'm not even being diplomatic. I'm literally just being truthful that she got strong features. If I was gonna say she was ugly, I would just say it, actually. That it just kind of, it is what it is. But I would say that she's likely not DSD because the 1500 is also a banned event, and that's what this time is right here. So that 420 hand time right there, I don't know why these are hand time. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Actually, now that I think about it, let me look at some of these results. Kofa looked DSD2 from DR. Yeah, see, if as long as you take the shots that they need you to lower your testosterone levels, then you can do it. So if they can't necessarily, see, they can't legally release it because of HIPAA laws. So you can't just be like, this person is DSD. The reason why they can say Saini is DSD is because Saini was one of the athletes that everybody knew ahead of time. But if somebody comes after the fact, which Getachew has come on the scene after the fact, then you can't necessarily know unless they decide not to follow the rules and regulations. Then it gets revealed. But as long as they follow the rules and regulations and do all of the, the testosterone lowering and stuff, you can't really say that they are. But let me see. Nah, see, there's a 800 here too. So I don't know. I can't say that. She's running 800. I don't know why it's not here. See, it's only 3,000 steeplechase because it says, oh, that's 2021. That's why I'm not seeing that. Let me look at 2021. They said, yeah, they said, didn't Caster run today? Yeah, Caster, I addressed Caster earlier. Let me just look at here. 800, yeah, okay. Some of y'all don't just say a person DSD. I think that's y'all trying to low-key say this person look ugly. Because even though people got strong features, I don't know. But yeah, Getachew could be, but I can't prove it. And based on this, running the 800, and since most of the known DSD athletes, or all of them, have decided not to take the estrogen or testosterone inhibiting things and decide to run different events, this person has run in the 1500 and 800. So just by process of elimination? Most likely not. So I can't worry about it. So anyway, let's see. Yeah, but Caster got blown. The flip out was like fourth to last or something like that in the 5,000. Obviously Caster would have probably only settled for the 1,500 after, you know, aging up and not being able to be as fast. But they kind of wrap that one up real quick and say every event that Caster is good in, going 50 point. See, that's the problem they had. Going 50.0 in the 400 and then being able to be medal in the 1,500 as well. See, those two things don't add up to them. So they're like, Caster could medal in the 4, the 8, and the 15. Completely unheard of. So She is Bree Wayne said, "No way, they ain't ugly to me. They just look too manly." Just saying. See, you're a woman though, so women always say another woman or somebody like that don't look ugly. I don't trust y'all opinions and stuff. I just gotta say, because you ain't the one that gotta snuggle up with them. But anyway, Shanae Miller-Weibo from Bahamas made it through real easy. McLeod, people were questioning whether she looked tired or not. I don't think so. Anna from Poland made it through. Let me blast through these real quick. Then we got Kofel. Matter of fact, let me just go straight to the final. Let me go straight to the final heat, because that is what we're looking at. So we got Anna from Poland in lane 1. I'm not even going to read that out. Stephanie Ann McPherson from Jamaica in lane 2. Shanae Miller-Weibo in lane 3, which is actually really surprising that she's in a tight curve. Man, wait a minute. What was the seed time she came into? She won her heat. And if I'm not mistaken, she had the second best time. Nah, this is a bad lane draw. They trying not to have her win, because she's tall. Why the heck was she, unless she chose this, but I can't see her choosing this. Yeah, Paulino got the lane that Shanae Miller-Weibo usually would get, which would be 6. Yeah, so this one is very interesting. That's a tight turn for a tall athlete. So yeah, she's going to have to work even harder just to make it through. So Shanae Miller-Weibo in lane 3. I don't think she would have chosen this in normal circumstances. We got Kofel in lane 4. And remember, I said I had questions about the Dominican Republic athletes anyway. I have very strong questions about the athletes. But it is not for what y'all think. It was other questions here, but I'll address it on a different video. Then we got McLeod. She's in a very good lane. I don't know why McLeod got a better lane than the actual winner of her heat. That's weird. Paulino is in lane 6. Sada Williams in lane 7. And then we got Claver. This is gonna be, man, they setting this up for the way the lanes draw is they doing what they did to Knighton. Dang. But Knighton didn't. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, she is 6'2". Once again, where are the Mayo DSD people? Trevor Woodley said. The Mayo DSD people is the world record holder in the 400 right now. That's one of them. So, allegedly. I gotta say that for legal purposes. Allegedly, the world record holder for the 400 and the world record holder for the 800. Allegedly. Gotta say that. DSD, or very questionable. Because many people among that time, I'll quote them, were thinking that those two athletes may have been men or something. So, they said, track Illuminati hard at work. They said they just tired of Weibo winning all the time. It's boring. Man, Miller-Weibo don't win at the World Championships. Miller-Weibo trips herself up. Remember, she lost against Allison Felix tripping at the line. She lost against Sawa E. Nasser, which I think if Sawa E. didn't get banned from being a bozo for missing all those tests and whatnot, which that should just speak for itself, in my opinion. Same thing with Christian Coleman. If the athletes weren't being bozos and missing the test and whatnot, then in my opinion, the we would be seeing her. She would have won the last Olympics, and it probably would have been a 48 low, 47 high, if not even faster. Because Sawa Nasser, if you go back to 2018 and 2019 and see how she was holding back, she held back and still was breaking 50. She would just come by at these random diamond leagues and just floated through. So Miller Weibo, I still got her at the win. Paulino's gonna have to hit a PR. She's gonna have to hit a personal best to take this one. All this field's gonna have to go into the 48 in order to beat Miller Weibo, even in lane 3. You gotta go. I'm gonna say it might be 48 high. The way this track has been running slower times for certain events, I'm gonna say 48 high at the very least, because Miller Weibo's in lane 3, so it's gonna inhibit her speed. They said Coke and Navra are dead, aren't they? I'm not sure. Track needs to address DSD. Miller Weibo is very inconsistent. Yep, Sawa, it ain't coming back the same. Look at Christian Coleman. Man, Sawa posted up some stuff on her Instagram this year, which made me think. I was like, okay, she's training or whatever. Nope, it was just, I was like, yeah, she looked like she's still in Nigeria doing those beauty pics. But here we go. Let's just look here at the final. Yeah, Christian Coleman, I give him like a year or so. That's what I look at it. It was fair for his year back, being banned and stuff. That's the same way I'm gonna look at Nasser. Nasser, the 400 is a lot harder. But think about Nasser running that well so young, and although you might not be able to do something like that, in my opinion, Usain Bolt could have come back at this point. I think Usain Bolt, if he had started training again leading up to Tokyo, he could have came back. I don't know if he would have won gold, but I'm almost certain he would have won a medal in that 200, because that's his better event as far as probably for longevity purposes. And then he could have moved up to the 400. Also, coming into this year, if he didn't get a gold in Tokyo, giving him another year to come back, yeah. Because Peterson from Australia in the high jump, she was talking about it, and she said, yeah, she took an entire year off. She didn't do any training. She was sitting on the couch, essentially just gaining weight, getting fat. She changed coaches, then she just did better. And she's doing very, very good. Talk about inconsistent Michael Norman, is it? So, yeah, Michael Norman, based on Van Niekerk, well, he ain't got a real challenge from Van Niekerk because he barely qualified through. So Van Niekerk may be out of the medals on this one. The field is very hit and miss, and I think it's open. Michael Norman is... Oh, let me say, Michael Cherry. Remember I told y'all beforehand, I think I said this before the championship started. Before this champ started, I didn't trust Michael Cherry. And here we go, evidence. I may not always be right, but I'm fairly accurate. But I'm always accurate. Not fairly accurate. I'm always accurate. And Michael Cherry didn't deliver. Something tells me it's just until maybe give him another 1 or 2 championships. But he's just like one of those one-off racers. Trevor Woodley said, gotta say, Christian Taylor ran great today. He's going to go faster later in the season probably. Oh, yeah. Probably is, mind your own. I think Christian Coleman's mind set elsewhere because of the long layoff. Yeah, Cherry has an Achilles injury. Oh, there it is. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. So maybe it's not about his inconsistency, but yeah, that is very hard. Anything dealing with the foot in track, is, yeah, it's about a wrap. Unless you got glass in your foot, then you can still run with that, like some athletes have done. Anyway, Karani James. It's going to be between Norman, James, and Hudson Smith. Hudson Smith looked like he was somewhat holding back, and he forced Norman to go faster than he should have, that he wanted to. Because I looked at Norman's face, I looked at his stride pattern, and I looked at, he was just kind of like, okay, I'm set to just go right here. I'm going to test to see if he slows down, comes back to me. Do I really need to win this? And he was like, no, I need to win this. I need to get a better lane. I need to do this. Hudson Smith got a better lane than Michael Norman, but Michael Norman beat him in his heat. This is some weird stuff, I swear. Because some are matched up logically, and then other ones are not making sense. So, Taylor, he's out of it. He's in lane 1. The Botswanan is out. Van Niekerk, he might be able to surprise like he's done in the past. I always like to go back on he's a world record holder, but he's just out of it as far as, being able to be fit. And that's the problem. I like his drive. He's going to be fighting in the final, and that's the good thing. So if anybody else is falling off, he could be getting in the chance for the medals. Champion Allison, I don't really know what to say on him. I got to be honest. I don't know what to say on him. Hudson Smith, like I said, I've been so happy and been tracking him when he set that British record. Because I'm just like, all right. I knew exactly what the British record was. And as soon as he broke it, I was excited. So Hudson Smith, I think he's going to get the European record, which I think is just under, around 44-1 or something. Somewhere around there. And so I think he's going to be able to do that in this final. Now, will he be able to beat Michael Norman or Karani James? That's a good question. I think Karani James comes in as the favorite. I don't care that Michael Norman has run a 43.56 this year. Until otherwise spoken, Karani James is got to be the favorite for me. Although I'm going to lean, I might eat a shoe for this one. But I'm going to say Michael Norman. It's a toss-up between Norman and James. I want to lean toward Michael Norman, but that might just be the inherent marketing around him and me having a little bit of, hope that he's, coming back to form. But he hasn't shown to be consistent. So it's 50-50 for me for James and Norman. And then the toss-up after that, who's going to break them up if there's a chance, is Hudson Smith. Those are the three I think are going to do it. Anybody else is basically a moonshot or a wild card. Norman completely fell apart in Tokyo. Yeah, you know what? Last year, he didn't have his mentality good. It was more like at USA's, he was winning the rounds and stuff, and then I always say what's their name, but I know their name. I like to say what's their name, an old dude and an old woman. But if I start getting bigger audiences, I might start to do that. But hey, if I grow by just saying this, that's what I'm gonna keep on doing. But yeah, what's his name? Put the mic up in front of him and was like, "Hey, do you think you need to stand up to the legends of Michael Johnson and the ones before and everything like that?" And he said no. Like, once he said that, everything else that came after that, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I literally was speaking to my best friend for 2 hours roasting Norman for that weak mindset. I was like, no, that's not somebody that's about to win. He said he's not looking up to match the great 400-meter athletes that came before him. Then what are you out here for? If you ain't here to win by being like the overall favorite and you got all this potential and speed, then you just here to participate, and that's what you're going to do. And what happened? He participated in Tokyo. So he could go and say, Mom, I participated in your home country, and that's what I did. He said, Mom, I participated there. Now he can say, Dad, I'm here, and in this time, I'm going to instead. And because, look, remember in Tokyo, they was leaning on him being half Japanese and everything. Man, they was leaning hard on that. You haven't heard a single peep of that right now. Not at all. So, man, the media, they know how to switch up real good. They was basically erasing his blackness and was like, this dude is Japanese. This dude is Japanese, not mixed with they didn't mention the father at all. It was just all mother, because you already know the media complex with erasing men and whatnot. So it was just, he's all Japanese. And now it's in the U.S., there's like, they're American. Man, last year you would have thought he was running for Japan. You thought he was running for Japan. But wait a minute. You said we need Jeremy Warner back. Man, Jeremy Warner, when he was getting that silver, he almost let himself not get a medal at all. And he said that on in an interview with Now, I genuinely forgot a name, but he said that in an interview. He was just like, yeah, when he was so unhappy that he couldn't get the gold from his rival from the U.S., he was just like, yeah, he gave up. I don't know about that one. But yeah, Jeremy Warner, he just wasn't himself after, was it '06 or whatever? He just was not himself after '06, and it was just a wrap. I think the Botswani is out of if Gardner was in. Yeah, probably. No. Yeah. I think you're right. You're right. They said he probably felt like he didn't deserve it at the time. We need Jeremy Warner back. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, you just got to have a certain mindset with this thing. Track and field is very mental. You can't come in, you cannot come into this thing just being timid. You got to have that energy. At the top level, that's why I said everybody think they going to win. Look, this is how arrogant Ingebrigtsen is. And I got to say it's arrogant at this point. Not just the confidence. He went into an interview and said that even Whiteman knew that he couldn't actually win. Like, I'm like, wait a minute, what? Even Whiteman knew that it was me that messed up and that he couldn't beat me. Wait a minute, who actually won? Who lost and who won? Like, huh? Like Brazier was like, yeah, it's something I should have made through because I'm the best in the field. Remember last year before he put on that boot, before we found out that he had a super serious enough injury that they had to have a boot because, you know, these pro athletes put on boots too to rehab sometimes as well. So it may not be to those extremes, but he was like, yeah, it's something I could have run through. So, okay. But he was like, yeah, I know I'm the best in the world. Okay, that's one thing. But when Ingebrigtsen referred to Whiteman and said even Whiteman knew. Like, wait a minute, did you ask Whiteman? Did Whiteman come up to you and be like, yeah, man, shoot, I would have lost against you? No. Whiteman was surprised he won, but I'm sure Whiteman would not be like, yeah, you're better than me. Like, dude, you might be faster than me. I don't care if I was lined up there. I don't care if it's the world record holder. That's probably why I always went out and front ran against people that were way faster than me on paper and then faded. But anyway, I don't care if it's the world record. I'm there to win. Like, they said Josh Kerr and Jakob Ingebrigtsen are so arrogant. Yeah. Ingebrigtsen, I get that he could be arrogant because he wins. Like, he won the Olympics. Okay, cool. The arrogance, I think that's okay. But this one was a little bit too much. But that's what you get with people that are very confident in themselves. But I'm okay with that. I'm still okay with that. I'll take an arrogant person that knows how to win. Richardson is arrogant and can't get a freaking... She can't make a team now. After that fiasco that she technically made the team. But, you know, things like that happen. People all over the world in other countries that the U.S. does not pay attention to, that Jamaica and the UK and everything and the nations that are here may not pay attention to. But people have controversies all over the place in their own countries. Right? And so it's like, hey, you kind of got to deal with it if you can't push back soon enough. Okay. So now she had her chance this year. And then what winded up happening? She ran an 11-3. Now that's arrogance if I ever heard it. If you talk and you can't back it up. Now Ingebrigtsen can back it up. Kerr, he hasn't been able to back it up yet. So he is arrogant. Ingebrigtsen is prideful. I'll say it that way. I think he's prideful. I'll say he's prideful. But he did step over the line on this one. He said even Whiteman knew that he couldn't beat me. Now I'm paraphrasing. He didn't say it exactly like that. But I think I'll repost the interview if I care to look for it again. They said not Richardson. They said Richardson is finished. People are tired of her antics. I don't like arrogance, but if you can back it up, then okay. Look, I gotta say, just like I tell the women around me and the people that's been here a while know that I'll have multiple women. If I get married, I'll probably have 3 wives or something. But I was like, look, if you after a man, take his arrogance, because it's certain types of mindset he's gonna have, or pride, whatever you want to call it. I call it prideful. You call it arrogance. I tell the women, if you go and find that guy, he's gonna have a certain mindset, a leader, a driven mindset, is not gonna have a bashful mentality most of the time, especially if he's a high achiever. These are all high achievers. So I expect the territory to come with track to be arrogance. And I like to see it. I really like to see it. I like to see that. So, because I have myself a mouth and an ego too. Except I don't do it when I'm losing. That's what Richardson messed up with. I'm going to talk, and then once I get blown out, I'm going to be as goofy as Noah allows. I'm going to be like, dang. Did y'all see I just got last place? Like, y'all should name the move to get blown out like that after my name. Y'all should just call it my name to get embarrassed by that much. That's what I would have been doing in the interview. Just be like, yeah, I thought I was going to come out here and run faster. My body didn't click. And they just delivered the knockout punch. I would have just been all over the place and doing stuff like that. But instead, Richardson went, congratulations to whoever the winners are. What? Oh my goodness. Imagine Ingebrigtsen over here. They said Jakob has earned arrogance. Yeah, in a certain way, but not the way he just did it there. But you know what? I can't police him, and I can't police somebody that's a winner. But yeah, thank y'all for coming out today. That's all we got for today. I appreciate it. Let me read the final comments here before we get out. Mind your own said, that is the problem. She talks too much and does too little when it matters. Yeah. She is turned into, what's her name in UFC and everything. So, man, let's see what we got tomorrow. Now, let me check the time here. So we're going to be back same time, same place. Oh, it's the 200-meter finals tomorrow. Oh, yeah, this is about to heat up. It's about to heat up. We got the women's 800-meter heats, the men's 5,000. So we only got two finals again. Javelin, men, triple jump. So, yeah, we're going to be here the same time. And I got to remember that this is going to start differently because I kind of missed the start of this today. They said Slow Kari is running end of the month, I think. Trevor. Man, I'm going to have to go back to calling her Forrest Gump. Because that's the speed she going at. Forrest Gump when he was running that long hundreds of miles or whatever. It's Forrest Gump right there. They said Richardson has unearned arrogance. She hasn't won a global championship yet. You know, I think you could be arrogant if you are, if you even get a global medal. Because only one person has the chance of getting a win. And I think that's what we really need to do with track and field. I like that World Athletics is, you know, doing some things. Oh, and before we go, I was going to mention this earlier. I'm glad you said that because it just reminded me. You know, most of us on this channel are black. And a good portion are black American, like I am. I do recognize those things. I recognize the differences of when I've traveled all over different places, all right, different countries and everything like that. The differences between there. But this is something I'm going to say here. You know, the dominant society, white society, they copy the things that we do. I just want y'all to know that. They copy the things that we do. They brutalize us, as Jason Black has said, because we're black, and they victimize us because we're poor. What they do is they try to keep us poor, okay? Now, with their money, let's just forget about the keeping us poor part for a second, because we could, you know, fix many of those things ourselves. But with the money that they do, let's say that they, like the Head and Shoulders thing, clearly World Athletics, Diamond League, or whatever, NBC, all of them, they have seen this channel, if not watched many of the videos. They said peace and love. See you tomorrow. She is Bruwayne. They have seen the videos and they're saying head and shoulders above the rest. It kind of sounds really weird because it's like they're overusing it like a, I don't know, it sounds lame. There we go. That's what it is. It kind of sounds a little bit lame because it sounds a little bit off-putting because it doesn't make any sense. Because I can't even say head and shoulders above the rest other than in an intro, because it doesn't even seem proper, because it's like, okay, they are head and shoulders above the rest, and then when you're saying in the middle of a race that's not a final, it doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't make any sense. And they say it in races. No disrespect to them, because they're saying the term. I brought it back into the lexicon, but they really copy the things that we do. White supremacy. Tariq Nasheed made that a term. So when you guys think that you don't have an impact outside of yourself because you're black, well, remember this. People are watching. They're paying attention to what you're doing. I just want to point that out. I used to run the opposite way on the track in my high school. And then the former football coach, well, he was a football coach, former football player. He was our gym teacher. And he said, oh my goodness, I was going to give away one of my names. But he was like, Nick. He'd just always say it very loud. And he said, and I was like, huh? He was like, do you see those girls right there? He said, they like you. And I was like, oh, really? I was oblivious in high school. But he was like, yeah, they like you. But beyond that, do you see what you've done? And I said, what do you mean? He said, those two are now running the opposite way around the track. Why do you run the opposite way around the track? And I said, because I'm trying to, even out my other leg. I run always to the left on the track, and I don't want a muscle imbalance. So I'm going to run the opposite way so I can balance out my eventual, leaning to one side when I get older. He was like, oh, I bet you they don't know why you ran the opposite way just like I didn't. But you've influenced at least two people. And eventually the entire gym class, including the other sections with other teachers, started to run the opposite way. Nobody told them. I didn't say anything. I was just running the outside in lane 6 because we had an indoor track, 200-meter indoor track at our school. And they just copied. Shears Bree Wayne said, you are part of FBA. Yeah, FBA is a lineage, so I'm automatically part of that. So yes, I am a foundational black American. You can call me Freedman. You call me foundational black American. You could call me a descendant of slaves in America, not ADOS, because that's that group, that scam group that pushes LBGT and all of that stuff, or whatever confusion they got. But yeah, I'm automatically part of that, whether I wanted to or not. It's not a group. It's a lineage. And it's just us naming ourselves and being able to do that. But yeah, so as part, and so I want y'all to remember this going forward. So when I have these videos that's coming out, how to improve Kenya, how to improve the Black America, which I think Jason Black, Tariq Nasheed, all of them, they're gonna do a much better job than I do. But we still need more people to talk about these things and then implement them. It's enough time for talking. It's time to implement. And then how to improve, Nigeria, these things. I'm only going to say it to a certain extent. You guys that are from those nations, including Jamaica, y'all the ones that's going to have to talk to your fellow people that are all over there and get it implemented. But remember, they're going to copy you and try to take your idea. That's why now I'm being a lot more quiet about the next moves I'm going to make. Because they're going to take some of these things and implement them. I've already said a lot about how I would structure track and field as a team sport. Whether I apply it eventually or not, or I take it to my grave, who cares? At this point, I'm not going to say too much more because I just don't want them to have it. Now that I know that they have watched this channel and that they keep track of this. You said maybe I can have a panel. I would only have a panel with trusted business partners because I do a lot of business right now, even in Kenya. We're trying to buy up farms and stuff. Many of them, they pass it down with their families. But the thing is, I try to talk to some people because I exposed it with a woman that I talked to. I was like, yeah, so what about them passing it down to you and your family? Because you don't seem very, traditional oriented, nor your siblings or whatever. And I was like, yeah, if a Chinese or an Asian or a white person come up to you and say, hey, here's $3 million for your farm, you would sell it to them instead of thinking, this is $3 million. Let me go to the loan and go to the bank with this paperwork they're going to give me because I'm going to demand paperwork. Hey, somebody just offered me $3 million. This company offered me $3 million to buy a farm. They said they wanted to build up a hotel right next to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a loan for 30% or 50%, I think is max you could do for that. Every country is different, but you can go up there and then I'm going to take a $1.5 to $1 million loan. I'm going to build up the hotel next to my farm. I'm going to do all of this stuff instead of selling it to them. and then I see the value. Oh, so my farm is now net is valued at 3 million. Great. Let me improve the value and then have a tourist attraction here instead of selling it. That's what we need to start thinking of. That's how we got to start thinking. But yeah, I will only have a panel with trusted, verified, business oriented people that have something that's already working. That's the only way I will have a panel. I don't want to do anything sloppy. We're not talking theoretical here. We want to have verified stuff. So somehow Trevor Woodley said, very good physiotechnical reason. Oh, and then you said, somehow I don't think the pink females are gonna be wearing the fake lashes though. Many white people do wear fake lashes. They wear extensions, they wear wigs. It's just not as obvious because when a black person wears a wig, you can tell it's a wig a lot of times. But yes, they wear do-rags, which they've renamed to something else. Another thing they tried to steal. Virtually everything that we use, the modern doorknob, the modern toilet, refrigeration, essentially, the paint on cars, chemical engineering. All of these things were all of those were black American things, but all of these things were black people, specifically black American. So if you look in your different countries right now, and here's the last thing, and then I'm gonna go because this was not my intended thing, so I'm gonna give myself a limit of 5 minutes. But if you look right now in Mali, if you look in West Africa, because the Mali Empire went over modern day Nigeria, modern day Ghana, and so on and so forth. But if you look in West Africa right now, Google, this is what I really don't like. Google is now translating and uploading all of the library of medicine that's out of West Africa. Now, foundational black Americans and the West Africans, which makes kind of sense because some of them came here. Many black people were already here, indigenous to the land, and mixed in with some of the West Africans. But it would make sense that, a lot of the medical advances were from black people here in the U.S. and then more recently from the West African culture. So now you're looking at West Africa uploading all their freaking secrets to the world to see. For what? Are they getting paid? And if they are, what are they paying them? $2 million? Because the US dollar value, I hear this all the time from Nigeria. I hear this to a lesser extent, but still enough in Kenya. When I'm talking to people, they're like, oh, it's so hard. Oh, the value in the currency. I'm like, look, stop worshiping this US dollar. The value for the US dollar has gone down dramatically itself. Instead, worship the value of you getting more of whatever your currency is so that you can beat this inflation. Getting more of ownership of stuff so that you have the ownership of all of these things. And people are not thinking like that. So they're going to sell out all of their secrets for either free or for a very, very low cost. And all of these people now, everywhere else, are going to be able to get it. Next thing you know, there's going to be an explosion of cures to a whole bunch of stuff. It's going to say, yeah, this originated in West Africa. What did the West Africans get? The same thing that Captain Phillips got when he got paid $72,000. He got paid for that movie or something. Or $15,000, some really low amount. When that brought in hundreds of millions. Yeah, we paid them $10 million. Wow, that's a huge amount. Then the people in the local newspaper will be saying it's a huge amount. No. Same thing with okay, I got 2 minutes left. Or 3 minutes left. Same thing with that gold that they found. I forgot what country now. But it's worth, what, $17 trillion. Guess what? I looked up the article just because even the African-facing news, quote, news, it's kind of good, but they go to certain limits. It's hit and miss with everything. You're never going to agree with everybody. But even the African news channel that's very, very big, got millions of subscribers or whatever, or hundreds of thousands, They did not cover it properly. All they did was like copy, paste, and read. They do a lot of that. They don't write their own stuff. They don't interpret it their own way. They just kind of read other news articles. They were reading it like $17 trillion US dollar value, or 13. Yeah, Uganda. Guess what? How much does Uganda get? Oh, I'm glad you asked. The government officials were saying that the Ugandan government would see a windfall. See, you got to pay attention to these words. I do investing on a regular basis, so I understand what that means. But that should even still, to me, it seems like it should be obvious to other people. But maybe a non-investor wouldn't understand that. The Ugandan government would see a windfall, aka see a profit margin of $700 billion. That's all. No, 700 million. Sorry, not billion. This is making me angry now. That is crazy. So this is 700 million from 13 trillion. That's what it was. It was like 13 trillion. The numbers bounce all over the place. All I know is that it's between 10 and 15 trillion dollars, and all the government is going to see is 700 million. Not a billion, not 700 billion. That's still a slap in the face. And guess who's about to get that? Oh, it's a Chinese mining company that mined it. So guess who's going to get it? They didn't say that directly, but if the government only gets 700 million US dollar value, then the rest has to go somewhere else. Who is that somewhere else? The Chinese mining company, aka China, because you know China's going in control of that, and they're going to tax them like crazy. Whether they want to or not, they're going to say, excuse me, we own your assets, so give it to us. That's what's going to happen. Rosemary Tracy said, OMG, Nick, the World Championships caused me to miss the start of the live stream. Yeah, they're every night at about 10:05 to 10:15 p.m. Central time. It said they gave the Chinese company the mining rights. Shaking my head. We are going to learn. When are we going to learn? See, my understanding is we're not going to learn. Or certain areas are not going to learn. Most black people are not going to learn. I think, and I have to tend to agree with the analysis, and it's very hard. It's very hard. But after traveling in different places, seeing the survey, and I even some people in my Discord, I was almost shocked, but not really. So there was a survey given out in Jamaica. This is overtime, y'all, so I'm done with track and field, obviously, but I'm not going past midnight. I know I'm going over the 5 minutes I gave myself, but the thing is here that there was a survey in Jamaica done saying, would you rather have Britain run the country? And across every single age group, those that were too young to vote, all the way up to them old Negroes, over 50% in every age group. It wasn't even lower at the younger age. It was about the same. It was like if it was 60% or 70 at the older age group and the 65 and above, at the 14 to 17, the 20 something millennials, it was about 60 or 70. It was virtually like, did somebody rig these machines? No. It was like, yeah, we want Britain to rule our country. And I'm like, that's the problem right there. No matter what I would say about Jamaica, if I say fix this problem here, it's just going to be the same exact thing. If you're mentally letting yourself to be subjugated by somebody else, you don't want to be slapped around. That's the thing. And I say that to those people that agree with that. It's like you don't want to be slapped around, but you don't want to have responsibility to run your own stuff, because that will cause you to have to step up. And many people don't want to step up. That happens here in the USA too. It happens in other countries. But it was very, it took me aback. And I was like, damn, really? And that was somebody present. They were like, yeah, I think it would be better if the British were back here. They said it in the Discord. It was just, I think, around Jamaican trials. And I was confused that that individual said that. And if you're here now, you can go ahead and say it in the comment section. And that's what made me look it up. And I was like, okay, let me look this up real quick to see how many other people agree with this. And coincidentally, they did a survey. Nigeria, it's almost the same thing. I talked to many Nigerians. They're over here, they got a term called Japa, which means run away. And I'm like, okay, what kind of backbone do you have? Joppa. So I invented a different one with somebody else, but I said I can't be the one that presented, man. You have to do it. And you also have to be successful when you do it, because they're going to copy. They're going to try to emulate you because you're successful. A broke person can't come out here and say this term. So until you get your money together, sir, what you say is not going to work unless you get a whole bunch of other people. It's not going to work. They're going to copy who is around them. They're going to look up to you if you have success. You have that house on Banana Island. You got the place in Victoria Island. You got the place in Lecky and whatnot. So that's where I'm just like, yeah, y'all can look it up. Japa, Joppa, run away. And I'm just like, okay. And I deal with this all the time. And many people, they block me in their areas because they think I'm not foundational Black American. Then some of the people complain because I'm talking about other nations. I'm just like, hey, I'm just chilling. I'm chilling. I got my success here. I want to bring it in other places, but I'm not about to let somebody scam or abuse me. I'm not just sending money there. You got to prove something to me first before I even work with you. And some people, they get real angry. They be like, you don't know how it is over here. And I was like, I could bring you now almost 30 people in Nigeria that followed my advice, that didn't have anything 2 years ago. Now they're running circles in the top 20% and 10% of the people that's in the country. And all they did was follow my advice. Now, the problem with those almost 30 people is that, are they going to tell other people? That's the thing. Each one teach one, reach one. If they don't tell other people and they just keep it to themselves, which in some ways you got to be quiet, you don't want to do too much, but you still have to develop a culture of like, yo, you need to get up. All you got to do is tell other people. If they don't want to follow your advice, middle finger to them. Just leave them behind. But you give them enough of your time, and then maybe you give them a couple months, depending on how receptive they are. And if they're young, I give young people more of my time than older people. Old people, I'm just going to say it one or twice, and then boom. Young people, I may give them a couple of months, and I talk to them every here and there, maybe a year or two, and I'll check in on them, and then after that, I'll cut them. But yeah, this is very interesting. But this is stuff that I'm doing all the time. I got to be up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning all the time, and I'm working on these things. So if you guys want to help out with those things, that's why I say everything that you guys support here, whether it's through Super Chat, whether it's through buying the NFTs or anything like that, I'm actively working to put these things together and to make sure that these move forward. I don't know if I believe in Pan-Africanism at all. I'm just happen to be a Black person that see other people that may not even see themselves as Black. That's what I found out when I got older. It used to surprise me. Now it doesn't anymore. Somebody darker than me will be like, yeah, I'm not Black, or I'm white, and it's literally on their driver's license. Not my problem anymore. But if they are on code or whatever, then I'll work with them. If they're not, then I won't. If we're doing business, then I'll work with somebody on code or not, because it's business. Business is business. But if it turns to me helping them or guiding them, if they're not on code, they can be redeemed, of course. But that's what that is. So if y'all want to participate in these things, let me know. I do have a group, but this one is specifically for people in Africa, because I have a group that's developing those things. So if anybody's interested in that development group for Africa, then let me know. Just hit me up in the Discord. Not here, because I got to verify to make sure. If you're in Jamaica, unfortunately, you don't qualify for that group. If you're not there, if you're not in Africa, I would say if you are, maybe your parents are Kenyan or Nigerian or something, y'all live somewhere else, maybe, I don't know. But right now it's specifically for the people that's currently living on the continent, because I want to make sure that we get some people that are consistent, building up businesses or building up connections, because they may just be an employee. They don't have to be a business owner. That's not a requirement. They just need to be on point. So anyway, that's been what I got to talk about tonight. Hopefully y'all don't let some people copy your stuff, because that's what's going to happen. I know somebody's going to come out with a competitor channel to this one, because I don't see anybody else doing anything of what I'm doing. Other people are doing some analysis. Other people are doing maybe shock reaction videos. Other people doing some super biased stuff for their own country, whether it's Jamaican, American, Nigerian, or whatever. And I'm gonna try to do the overall landscape of it. And I really don't care about the views like that too much. I care about more of the quality. Y'all gonna see something different come either next year or in 2024. I don't know if I'll have everything set, but y'all gonna see something majorly different once this thing starts building up, especially if we get some successes coming in. So anyway, this has been a long one. It's almost midnight. I hope y'all get some good rest tonight. We coming back tomorrow, same time, same place. 10:05 to 10:15 is probably when I set off. You know what? Since the 200 meters is going off at 9:50, it's probably going to go off closer to 5 minutes before the hour or at the hour on the dot. But in any case, you've been watching Head and Shoulders ATR. So, peace out.